Hey everybody, welcome back to World History with Mr. Finn. We are continuing on with ancient Greece. Last class we talked about ancient Sparta and ancient Athens and the differences between the two of probably the most powerful, well-known city-states of ancient Greece. But again, it was to show you that all of these different polis had different personalities in a way, different governments, different ways of doing things, different thought processes. However, they were all Greek. So they all shared the same culture, but they were very, very different. And so we looked at the two differences of the two most powerful city-states. Now, what can bring these two completely opposite city-states together and all the other hundreds of different polis together? A threat. That threat is Persia. You have probably not heard of Persia. Maybe you have. Persia is going to be an ancient empire. It is going to stretch across Asia. It is humongous. It is powerful. Part of the reason why Persia is so powerful is that when they take over areas, they basically take people and make them part of their military, meaning that we're going to see a military force of upwards of 180,000 people. This is a huge military. Most wars and most battles during that time would have seen maybe 1,000, not very many in these local battles, but Persia, being a huge empire, has now sucked up a lot of these people who they are, in control of and made them a part of their military to the point that they are huge. They have a huge military. And so Athens and the rest of ancient Greece are going to be kind of in the way of Persia. Persia's going to be right sneaking up against ancient Greece. Persia is going to be run in a traditional sense of our ancient civilizations. They're going to have a king who's going to be regarded as like a god king who has absolute authority. And again, in Greece, in various forms, they had a democracy where the people of a polis all take part in the government. They don't have necessarily a god king like we see in these other early civilizations. So Persia is going to look at this and be like, hey, this is way different than what we are. They're going to say, hey, this is just another civilization that we are going to take over and suck up into our Persian empire. So quickly, let's take a look at what happens when Persia comes in to ancient Greece. What is going to happen the first time around? We're going to say around 499 BC. We're going to see a king of Persia called Darius. Darius is going to come to ancient Greece, and he is going to have some bad luck. His navy is going to be wrecked. He's going to lose some supply lines, meaning he doesn't have everything that he needs. Ancient Greece is going to kind of get lucky in this sense because they are going to fight off the Persians. In fact, they're even going to defeat the Persians in this first time around, meaning that Darius is going to have to go back towards Asia and the Middle East, having not conquered the Greeks. This is going to be great for the Greeks. They're like, hey, hooray, this is fantastic. We all came together. Sparta, Athens. We destroyed Persia. They were not able to beat us. This is awesome. We did fantastic work here. And they're happy about this. However, there's someone who's not happy about it. One, Darius, but his son is never going to forget the humiliation that his father faced. His son, that's a fun name for you. Try and say it real quick. Think, what would it be? How would you say this name? The answer is Xerxes. His son, Xerxes, is never going to forget that his father was defeated in battle and was not able to overtake the ancient Greeks. And so, about 15, 20 years later, as Xerxes comes into power, he's doing the same thing. Persia didn't get destroyed. It just didn't defeat Greece the first time. Xerxes is going to come back in to ancient Greece. And he's going to have this huge military, same thing. Xerxes is in charge of Persia. He is a god king. He has absolute authority. He is not going to let it go. Now, what I want you to do today is Xerxes, I will not tell you what happens to Xerxes, not yet. Because what I want you to do is I want you to look up The Spartan 300. The Spartan 300 are going to play a role in Persia's attack on ancient Greece. Just so you can look it up, Thermopylae. That is going to be the battle at which they are going to hold off the Persians. And you know what? What I want to do right now is I want to make sure I have it spelled right. Because if you look it up, it's not going to be good if you don't have the correct spelling. And I have it right here, but let me just double check. Thermopylae. There we go. I had it with an A at the end. That way you have the correct spelling. It's the Battle of Thermopylae. And again, as long as you can you can see this and pause the video, you can look up the Battle of Thermopylae and the Spartan 300. What happens at this Battle of Thermopylae? What do the Persians run into? What do the Spartans do? There's a hint. There's only 300 of them, so we'll see what happens. But your assignment today is going to be summarize Thermopylae and 300. What happens here? Summarize it. Tell me. You can look at it like the 5 W's. Who, what, where, when, and why. We know it's the Spartans, and we know it's the Persians. Where is it? What happened? Give me a description of what happens at this battle so that next class we can continue with Persia versus the Greeks. And the important thing really to understand, let me just get out of your way in case you want to pause it here. The important thing to understand is that what the Persians are doing is really bringing the Greeks together in a way that they had never been brought together before. And it's going to strengthen Greek culture. It's going to strengthen the Greeks in a certain way. But again, summarize this battle, and then we'll continue to see what happens with Persia versus ancient Greece. Again, make sure you get this done today for attendance and participation purposes. You guys are doing great work. I can't wait to see it.